Let's get to KGW's Kristen Severance now. She's here to verify if Congress can take its own action and cancel the president's emergency declaration.
Yeah, so lots of questions about this. We can verify that, yes, Congress can repeal the president's national emergency declaration. So our sources for this story are Chris Edelson, an assistant professor at the government at the American University School of Public Affairs, and U.S. Code 1622. So according to federal law, a national emergency declaration can be repealed by a joint resolution passed by majorities in both the House and Senate. However, to pass, the joint resolution would have to be signed by President Trump, who has made it clear he wants all of that money to be used for the border wall. So in that case, the joint resolution would have to pass Congress with a 2/3 majority. That's requiring the support of Republicans who in the past have stood behind the president. We did a lot of research on this today. We also learned that this is the 60th time a president has declared a national emergency since 1976. But it's the first time that a national emergency has been declared because Congress wouldn't appropriate funds. 75% of those prior times that presidents have declared a national emergency, it had to do with sanctions of foreign governments.
That's good perspective right there. The fact that national emergency is not unique, but this one specifically does have parts of it that are unique.
It's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. Thank you, Kristen. And you can read more about the story on KGW.com, including how President Trump's original design for a wall was much different from what he's settling for now.